Thank you, Kelly. Miss Kelly Amadei in Garrison, New York on the Hudson River. How are you all today? It's a beautiful day to get together. Happy Sunday. So beautiful. Anybody watching the Olympics? I know it has its political implications and controversies, but aside from that, as I always say, I love seeing the dedication and mastery through practice of these extreme athletes like yogis. If we practiced our own spiritual practices, anything like that, the world would definitely be a much better place. Give a gong and a shout out to all those young at heart of any age, striving to master themselves. Om Achig Mahala Soadib. Amachig Mahala Soadib. Om Achig Mahala Soadib. Kapom Yeshingi Mo. Ma bo aye shiki love ngam gi shiki love what goes on to chen po ma ya chengo ba nyu to show. And English, Mother, Machig Ma, unique Mother, to you we pray. Oh, Machig Ma, to you I pray. Hong Machig Ma, to you we pray. Empower us through the white Om blazing from your forehead chakra into ours. Empower us through the red Ah from your throat chakra into ours. Empower us through the blue Hung blazing from your heart chakra into ours. Transmit to me, to us, to them, your enlightened body, speech and mind, body and soul, heart and energy and spirit. May we attain the sublime realization of imminent gnosis, transcendental wisdom, prajna, and jnana, paramitas, the boundless benefit of one and all, being bodhisattvas, awakened compassionators, compassionate awakeners, spiritual heroes, peace warriors, Buddhist to be, bodhisattvas, servant leaders, light in this benighted world, guiding us all together. Om. Yes. And I bow to the Buddha in your seat. Don't overlook them. Has anybody wondered lately what really the Buddha was doing and what he's after? Somebody told me lately, their friend, a professional, had used mindfulness successfully with their patients to free them from cigarette addiction. That sounds good. Applied Dharma. All for it. Buddha himself sought answers to questions when he was a young man, a young prince, as they say, like, who am I? The nature of identity. What is life? What is the purpose and meaning of it? Where did this all come from? Where's it going? What happens when we die? And especially, why is there so much suffering and misery in this world? To find out, he left his parents' kingdom when he was 29, spent 6 years in the wilderness practicing yoga and meditation, mantras, and other asceticisms, sat beneath the tree and awoke as the morning star rose on the horizon. And he said he found something. I'll have to say it in Tibetan to remember what the 5 points of what he found in the scriptures. It says, Zab, Shi, Trodrel, Osel, Dumache. Zab, profound. Shi, tranquil, peaceful, serene, harmonious. Shi, Trodrel, uncomplicated, coherent, unified. Osel, luminous, radiant, delightful even. And Dumache, unput together, therefore not subject to change. Primordial, beyond concepts, our innate nature. How marvelous. That's why we practice. That's why we meditate, introspect, practice self-inquiry, and so on. Of course, there were ordinary physical wellness and health and mental health benefits. There are practical benefits, like helping to free us from addictions, perhaps like smoking or others, at least deconditioning, reconditioning our, let's call them negative habits, unwholesome ways, unfulfilling habits, and so on. There's so much we could say about this. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about the basic Buddhist meditation that we've been using as a training, a jump-off point for Dzogchen non-dual awareness of this being, which is a little steep, a little abstract, extraordinarily vast and profound, like the basic Buddhist meditation, mindfulness of breathing. I've talked about this before, anapanasati, breath awareness, mindfulness of breathing. We're not going to go into what's the difference between mindfulness and awareness. We could go into that. I've talked and written about that, so have others. But let's, rather than falling into categories and boxes and philosophical discussions, debates, let's talk about it from the practice point of view. Cultivating focused, clear, penetrating awareness. Mindfulness through, first, mindfulness of breathing, concentrating on the breath going in and out of our nostrils, for example, as a good place to catch hold of it, to glimpse it, to grasp it, to be able to feel it and stay with it. But you could also use the breath at the diaphragm or the lower belly or some other prominent object in your perception. Up to you, like the pulse in the wrists. But let's stay with anapanasati breathing and cultivate shamatha, shine. But there's different aspects to breath awareness. Mindfulness of an object is one side we use to concentrate, to focus our minds, like gather the scattered energy, the diffracted light of awareness, the brilliance of awareness, and focus it like a laser beam on an object, so then laser beams could have uses like communication, distant communications, like surgery and other things. So we can cut deeper, see deeper into the nature of what they call in the scriptures, the dharmas, the reality, how things work and how they are. Not just concentrating, but gaining insight and wisdom. So focused awareness, shamatha, shine, tranquility meditation, calming and clearing is one aspect. Mindfulness of breathing with an object, breath in this case, it could be a mantra, it could be a visualization we concentrate on as the object of attention. But here, cultivating this kind of stillness or one-pointedness, getting in the game, being able to attend, be present be aware, be attentive, focus our attention wholeheartedly, and get the joy and the peace of unified awareness, of focused awareness, absorption, samadhi, whatever we call it. And there's another aspect of it in which this focused awareness is not just for concentration, which is just a means, but is also helpful to the end of non-attachment, of letting go, of deeper seeing and freeing. Using breath as a reference point, like sitting. We talk about sitting, but that's not the only position we can cultivate awareness in. So it's a reference point. We can practice standing meditation or mindfulness of physical sensations, mindfulness of breathing while standing, or any other position. But I don't want to dwell on that. Let's go on. So as a reference point, as Trungpa Rinpoche said, the great Buddhist pioneer Chogyam Trungpa, look him up if you don't know, read his books, like Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism, like Born in Tibet, like The Myth of Freedom, among his dozens of books. Trungpa Rinpoche said, concentrate lightly on the breathing, maybe 40%, and the rest on letting go and openness and what he called panoramic awareness. Some people call it awareness without an object, or openness, open awareness. Sky-like mind, as Joseph Goldstein calls it. I often quote Joseph because he's one of the Buddhist pioneers who first developed this language in English in the 60s and 70s based on his years of practice in India, in monasteries and retreats and so on. Sky mind, open awareness. Coming back to the breath when we need to focus, come back to ourselves, remember what we're doing while we're doing it. Not remembering the past, but recollecting ourselves, recollecting our scattered thoughts and energies, to remember what we remember what we're doing. Remindfulness, I call it. And using the breath, or whatever your object is, again, I'm going to keep saying this, the mantra, the visualization, whatever the subject you is concentrating on is the object, subject, object, and interaction, the three circles or wheels of Buddhist psychophilosophy, understanding mind and its relation to the outer and inner experiences. Anyway, coming back to breath awareness, not just mindfulness of breathing or of the mantra or of the candle flame or of the visualization of the physical sensation of the body being embodied, feeling physical sensation, yes, but also letting go and being the just open awareness, non-reactive, non-judgmental, not narrowing it down to one point of concentration like on the breath or in a candle. Once we get a little more experienced, just using the breath as a reference point, or as I say, an anchor to present awareness when we feel distracted or spacey or dozy or this fading concentration, coming back to the breath as a reference point, and then releasing more into openness and awareness, friendly, attentive, interested, yet not judging, not evaluating or analyzing, not pushing and pulling based on attraction and aversion. So as a reference point, breath awareness can take us much deeper than just mindfulness of an object, mindfulness of breathing. Concentration, meditation, by definition, is the means to the end of insight, wisdom, and liberation. And yet there's a lot of joy and delight in it, even just the focus of being able to relax and settle in and sit still and have less hyperactive, overwhelming mental activity and so on. Let the popcorn machine of the mental events pop. You don't have to butter it up or salt it, as I say, just enjoy the show, the movie, in this popcorn metaphor. So I find that this way of practicing breath awareness is very powerful and profound and leads into total openness and awareness. Even awareness without an object. There is a way of concentration without an object that's more advanced. We're not going to go into that now. But Buddhist meditation is not just being present, but it's also having some self-knowledge or recognition or penetration. Of course, we're all present already, so that's like the fundament. That is the natural great perfection. That is the basis of non-dual Mahamudra, Dzogchen, and Zen, even. Awareness is like the lamp. It illumines everything, including itself. You don't need a flashlight. You don't need to try to become more mindful to watch the lamp, use the lamp, be the lamp. Be the breath. I mean it, I'm not joking. Just sitting, just breathing, just being. Be the breath. Let go and let Buddha breathe through you. Don't fall into the illusion that you're breathing. Let the automatic nervous system do its job. And the automatic thinking system, and the automatic sensation system, the automatic hearing, touching, tasting, smelling systems. The six senses in their natural state are the way of the natural great perfection, Dzogchen. Clearly present, attending, and somehow knowing, recognizing, penetrating. What words can we use? It's beyond concepts. Not just being present like a stone or a pillar. Or self-aware, whatever your image of a dumb animal is. I don't want to pick on any animals. Like a slug, like a bacteria, not so much self-awareness. Maybe dolphins and others have some. I don't know if they say so. But there's natural joy in this unified, coherent state called focused awareness. So first, mindfulness of awareness, following the breath, concentrating on it, watching it, feeling it somewhere like the nostrils is a good place I found. Anapanasati, you can read about this in books. I've mentioned this before. Not hard to find. Larry Rosenberg has written quite a bit about this and others, traditional and so on. Look it up if you're interested. And then as a reference point, not just bringing the wandering mind back to that object of attention, but also being able to let go and let be. That's the bigger point leading to great freedom of non-attachment, the great peace beyond the dichotomies of noisy and silent, beyond the decibel level. Great peace is beyond noise and quiet, just like pacifism is non-aggression. That's one of our values. Being passive is its near enemy. It might look like it, but it's got its own neurotic attachment attached to it. So be pacifist, not passive. Awareness is dynamic. Life is dynamic. Energy is joy. Dig it. There's a lot we could say about this, but we'd like to practice it. We'll go into this, not just listing the 16 stages of concentration or 12 stages of training the elephant. You can read this in Tibetan texts, or today you can Google it. Or the 4 pillars, foundations of mindfulness, about physical sensations, mind, body, and realities or dharmas. You can read all this in the 4 foundations of mindfulness. But what is mindfulness? It's hard to find a really good, complete definition. Mindfulness sounds like one word. And what's the difference between mindfulness and awareness? Well, just to start at the top, as we like to in the Pith instruction or the essentialized essence tradition of oral teaching, of personal tips and pointers from the masters of Dzogchen and Mahamudra. What is the difference between mindfulness and awareness? When Joseph Goldstein asked my teacher, His Holiness the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa, who speaks English, in the mid to late 90s, when we brought him here to Boston, Joseph asked, Rinpoche, what's the difference between mindfulness and Dzogchen awareness? Rinpoche responded immediately, he said, in Dzogchen, no mind. So that's not just a Zen zippy. Actually, in the original sutras, in the short sutra on something or other that I had to write down here, on the short sutra, the smaller discourse on emptiness, Buddha says something about this no mind. The original term is anasakara, non-attention. It means objectless, concept-free. It doesn't mean not thinking, but there's no conceiver, there's no thinker. So anyway, you can chew on that if you have a mind too, as it were. In the Mahayana Sutras, it talks about boundless signlessness, nothingness, spaciousness, and boundless non-conceptuality. So that Those are 4 aspects of this no mind. There's a whole book on this called The Zen Doctrine of No Mind by D.T. Suzuki. You can read it. It's a very important, lesser known teachings about these things. What is the difference between mindfulness and awareness? In Dzogchen Awareness, no mind, the master said in English recently. So that's a pretty up-to-date, and I think to the point, distinction to be made. Of course, mindfulness can reach all the way if there's, mindfulness of objects, object-free, and then just panoramic awareness or being, a wakefulness. Then that's more like awareness. But of course, mindfulness, Dharmakaya mindfulness can include that, no problem. Thus, in Tibetan Buddhism, we make a difference between this mindfulness or recollectedness and awareness with a capital A plus or Rigpa, which is not just attention or being present, but also have some recognition or self-awareness in it. Not self-consciousness, but self-awareness with a hyphen. Some wisdom inside components, like the lamp illuminating things, including itself. No need to use a flashlight on the lamp to see through itself. And it's the lamp all the way down, friends. It's hard to get to the bottom of this groundless and boundless, infinite, open luminosity or lucidity to add the awareness component. Without personalizing it, calling it mind. So when we meditate, we can go deeper using concentration on breathing as a reference point, as well as on just the concentration meditation and getting more into the insight and the wisdom development cultivation. Very helpful. So let's practice that. We're used to doing that. Let's do that. Enjoy it. Be it. Have a nice meditation. Relaxed and at ease at home, on the spot, unless you've made other plans. This is a good time to minimize the multitasking. There's no point in saying don't multitask. So many things are already going on at once, intentionally, consciously, semi-consciously, and unconsciously, including our automatic nervous systems and so on. Breathing, pulsing, metabolizing, cell creation and deterioration. There's a lot going on, even just inside ourselves, not to mention around us, not just what's around us nearby, but other places that we don't even know about. And how about in the solar system, or even beyond that? I heard Mingyur Rinpoche bring up the Big Bang. He said science doesn't seem to know or think there's anything before the Big Bang, but from the point of view of the timeless or the uncorruptible true nature of things, how can we talk about linear beginning and end when it's all a whole? And if we want to talk in terms of time, cyclical. Anyway, breathing, relaxing, smiling, taking off our thinking caps, taking off our heads. This is me unscrewing my head in case you can't tell, and swishing it into the trash basket in the corner. No need, the head's just a big meatball filled with spaghetti sauce, like Douglas Harding says in his classic book on having no head. Check it out. Wonderful. This is not an anti-intellectual rap. This is about openness and awareness beyond concepts, tuning into the other side of the brain, the right side, intuitive, gestalt, well, once known, pattern recognition, not just connecting the dots linearly in time and space. This is about moving from flat lands of 2 dimensions, squares and triangles and circles, to the 3rd dimension of pyramids, cubes, cones, and even beyond the 4th dimension of time and the 5th dimension of mind, and so on. Not knowing can be a very high state, if you want to call it high. Like in the cloud of unknowing, the Christian mystic classic. Like in Zen, no mind. So give your brain a break. Let go and let be. As Longchenpa says, the six senses left in their natural state is the way of the natural great perfection. Dzogchen. Just sitting, just breathing, just being aware, awake, full, present. Add mindfulness of breathing if you like, so you have something to concentrate on. Otherwise, just relaxing, dancing in space, squatting in space. There's no owner, there's no landlord. It's open and free. Lying down in space, like children in the grass and looking at the sky, watching the pattern swirl or recede, sinking into it, becoming the grass and the earth. Don't worry, you're not going to wake up in China at the Olympics down there. This is a metaphor for decontracting our tight sphincter of ego, of selfiness, of reference points. Breathing in, feeling the breath, breathing out, feeling the breath, letting go. Point your mind, your attention at the sensation of breath, moving at the nostrils, anapanasati, concentration on breathing, mindfulness of breathing, a basic Buddhist concentration, exercise for calming, clearing, settling, focusing the mind, concentration, meditation in the word, shamatha shine, mindfulness of breathing. Breathing in, calming and clearing the mind. Breathing out, relaxing, smiling. Like great Thich Nhat Hanh might say, Maho, as Dzogchen goes, slow. When the mind wanders from the object of attention, the breath sensation of the nostrils, when the mind wanders, use the leash of mindfulness to pull it back, pull the attention back to the object of attention, the breath of the nostrils, without judgment or evaluation, comparing, pushing or pulling. Mindfulness is the opposite of mindlessness. Open, non-reactive, non-judgmental, pure attention or awareness. In the wholesome or unwholesome states of mind, just aware of them, letting go, not judging them either way. Minding the mind, awareness, aware of awareness as well. Using the breath as the reference point and then letting go into panoramic awareness, the sky-like nature of mind. Room for everything, whatever the weather is, temporary weather, temporary climate conditions. The sky-like sky in nature remains unchanged. Enjoy the joy of awareness meditation. Breathe out and relax a little with each out breath, a little death, a little relinquishment, a little letting go, and starting again, fresh, vivid, wakeful, attentive, present, lucid, empty and open, yet lucid, cognizant, aware. What words we use? Incandescently present, not just present, yet asleep to real. Interested, friendly, open. Wonderment, as we say in Dzogchen, fresh, innocent, not relying on former concepts and labels. Noble approach to life. What that? Amazing. Childish innocence. Back in the garden. Upstream. Prior to the craziness. After biting the apple. Dualism. Oh, oh, oh. Breathing in and out, letting go, letting be, letting come and go. It's a good metaphor for non-attachment, for flow, for allowing, letting go, letting the breath come and go. It's easy, it's natural, it's free, it's happening anyway. So why get involved, over-involved, or interfere? Let the breath swing open and closed like a swinging door in open space. No frame, no hinges. Just circulating, breathing in, breathing out. Mutual reciprocity, in and out, self and other, being and non-being. Taking in, sending and receiving, equalizing outside and inside, self and other, subject and object. Imaho, there's so many levels to this. Simply using breath awareness as a reference point. Riding the breath, it says in the Lojong, in the Tonglen, in the attitude transformation training. Breath is life. Inspiring and expiring. Don't worry about the expiration date. It's still good. Always good. Now. The effervescence, incandescent being, was luminous awareness. Capital A plus. This being, a capital B plus. See? Seeing is freeing. Wow. Mogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mashu Sapapema Vibushita Bunsadara Dara Samanta Avalokite Honte Soha. Homage to unconditional love and compassion. Avalokite Shvara. Omane Pemi Hori. Omane Pemi Hori. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Don't be afraid to move. Don't be a wooden Buddha. Stone Buddha, be a living Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum. Truth is a flame, a living flame, a dancing flame, not a stiff wax candle. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Align with that. Fake it till you make it. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 The six-syllable mantra of Tibet, the Buddhist heart mantra, the Dalai Lama's mantra, Chinmezi. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Avalokita Kuan Yin. Om Mani Padme Hum. We love she, we love she, we love we. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 For the benefit of one and all, including ourselves. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 From me to we. Om Mani Padme Hum. Back again. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 The needle seems to have got stuck in the groove. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Hum. Om Mani Padme 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Hare. Om Mani Padme Hum. Ho, way to go. It's easier than you think. As the Jewish Bodhisattva grandmother Sylvia Boorstein says, God knows, thinking seems easy, but it sure is hard in the sense of burdensome sometimes. Including all in our sterling aspirations, our co-meditation and to meditation, to being today, that we all together complete this gorgeous spiritual journey. Being there while getting there, being totally here while getting there, being there while getting there, every step of the great rainbow way. About to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, doctors and dakinis, gods and goddesses, angels, nature sprites, the entire invisible array in your seat. Don't overlook them. Ah.
We have a few questions.
Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. Discerning between which one we can accomplish in 3 minutes. I think I will go with Dory's question here. She asks, when we go under anesthesia, where does awareness go?
It doesn't go anywhere. Consciousness, unconsciousness, semi-consciousness, all of these things. Where is awareness when we're unconscious or when we're in a coma? Where does it go? Coma people, when they return, often say they heard what was going on around them. So there must be some awareness there, even there's not will, volition, and so on. So in one sense, you don't have to worry about it, Dory. It ain't going nowhere. In another sense, of course, one might even wonder about where does consciousness go when you go to sleep? And like children occasionally asks, what happens if I don't wake up? Will I wake up? How do I know? And so on. These are valid existential questions. But as we know, falling asleep is the end of consciousness or even awareness. You could have dreams, or you could even be aware in your dreams and know you're dreaming. Lucid dreaming. So consciousness or awareness, however you define these things, and they may have some overlap, but some differences, is underlying, overarching, ever present in your life. Carl Jung talked, great bridge between Eastern thought and Western thought. Check it out. Talk about the cosmic unconscious, like it's a great treasury or, water table underneath all the wells and lakes and oceans. It's not the same as oblivion. I don't think in terms of dying, because there may be other ways to think about dying besides going somewhere or losing it all. Some people can keep somewhat aware while they're falling asleep or even while they're dying, they say, or in the bardo. Anyway, check it out. You're not going there too soon, so don't worry. Any other good luck, Dory? I love you. Pray for you. You'll be fine. Any other questions?
Well, the other question may need to be tabled for next time, but Bill would like your thoughts and wisdom on the meaning of the Kala Chakra.
Good question. Well, any other questions? I won't answer them, just so everybody can hear and think about, questions and inquiry and how to study and practice Dharma and their own practice.
Those were the only two that came through so far.
The Kala Chakra is a big subject. You can look it up. The Wheel of Time, the empowerment, the Dalai Lama's teachings on it, etc. How it relates to your practice might be a question. If it does. Anyway, it's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. Let's go out, dance and sing, or whatever. Not get caught in our heads or in the COVID fatigue. Let's walk through the valley of COVID fatigue with our cups overflowing. Drink deeply. Love to one and all.
Thank you, Lama. Love to you.
Thank you, dear.
See you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.